Hello, students. Let's start your first class in chemistry. So, in chemistry, we deal with the properties and behaviors of matter, which are basically everything that surrounds us. And atoms, these are the fundamental particles that builds the matter. So, as a student of chemistry, this is absolute important to understand the every aspect of a atom. So we will start this journey from our first chapter, atomic structure. So in this chapter we are going to learn what constitutes the atom. We have already learned about electrons, protons and neutrons, and you know how these subatomic particles are distributed inside an atom. So this is more deeper science today in this chapter, so we will learn more. So let's begin. The first atomic model in true scientific sense was proposed by Rutherford, which was based on his legendary alpha ray scattering experiment in the late 1800s. So you have already studied about this in class 10. Now CBSE has dropped this part from your syllabus. So there will not be any question from Rutherford's atomic model in your future exams. But this is important. So I have thought that maybe I should remind you a little bit about this. So that's why I have included this. So let's, the few points about Rutherford's atomic model. He said that the total mass of an atom is centered at a nucleus. Now, all the subatomic particles, electrons, protons and neutrons, the electrons are the lightest. So basically the neutrons and the protons has the more mass, is the actual mass of the atom. So you have to remember this, that when Rutherford proposed his model, neutron was not discovered. So there was no mention about neutron in Rutherford's atomic model. Another thing is that the protons and the electrons were already discovered by J.J. Thomson and some other scientists prior to Rutherford's experiment. So he mainly cared about protons and the electrons. Now, since the mass of a proton is around 2000 times larger than the mass of electron, so mass of electron can be neglected. So this is the proton which constitutes the mass of an atom. It was suggested by the Rutherford. Now we know that it is the total mass of proton and the neutron that decides the mass of an atom. So he said that the total mass of an atom is localized at a center nucleus inside an atom, and that center nucleus is positively charged. So whatever charge that nucleus carries must be countered by negative electrons, because an atom is electrically neutral. So he said that the electrons revolves around the nucleus in certain orbit. Now this is very important. He said the electrons revolve around the nucleus in certain orbit, but he did not define the orbit. Let us say there is a point X which is an orbit in an atom. After that there is another orbit Y. Now let us say Y is much farther away from X, that is Y is farther from the nucleus than that of X orbit. Now in between X orbit and Y orbit there can be infinite number of orbits. This was based on Rutherford's atomic model. Now this is not true. This is the initial drawbacks of the Rutherford's atomic model. So this is the initial pictures of Rutherford's atomic model, and this is a planetary model, I think. So what are the shortcomings of this model? First shortcoming is that Rutherford's atomic model failed to describe the stability of an atom. We know that atom is very, very stable, but if you look at the physics, there was a paper of Maxwell. The paper is named electrodynamics, I think, quantum something. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the paper. So Maxwell suggested that any classical theory of electrodynamics. This was the name of the paper of Maxwell. So he was a physicist. He suggested that any charged particle such as electron, if it moves, it is going to lose energy. So any charged particle in motion lose energy in form of radiation. That radiation may be electromagnetic wave, or in whatever form that a charged particle in motion is going to lose energy. Now you look at the Rutherford's atom, in which the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Now, if so, the electrons must radiate or lose energy, and if it does so, it will ultimately crash upon the nucleus. It should ultimately crash upon the nucleus, but this doesn't happen. We already know that the electrons are continuously revolving around the nucleus, so the electrons doesn't crash upon the nucleus. So Rutherford's atomic model fails in the first place, that it doesn't go with the classical physics. It fails to explain the stability of an atom. So this is the first shortcoming. Another shortcoming is spectra, related to spectra. Now what is spectra? If you pass light through a prism, you know what will happen. It will form a band of colors, right? So that band of colors, so we put different colors one after another. That sort of arrangement is called spectrum. So in the visible spectrum, there is violet to red. In between there are many colors, right? So these are the continuous spectra. So you look at the spectra of the sunlight that is obtained from the prism. In between, let us say, the yellow color that you can see in the screen, the first picture. Actually, in the first picture, the picture above you can see on the screen, there is a light bulb. I don't think there should be a light bulb. It should be a sun. So there is a mistake in the picture. Okay. So the sunlight is passed through the triangle-shaped prism, and if you look, there is an eye. So that eye is an observer. So a continuum spectrum is obtained. Different colors one after another in a band. Now just look at the yellow color part and the green color part. Now can you define any boundary between yellow color and green color? You cannot define any boundary. So in between green color and yellow color, there is a region which is a mix of both colors. So this spectrum is continuous. You cannot separate one part from the another. However, if each color is separated by a dark region, now that is not a continuous spectrum. That spectrum is called line spectrum. Now we know that color arises from atom. So if you take hydrogen, such as hydrogen gas, inside a gas jar, and you somehow excite these hydrogen atoms, let's say passing electricity through electrodes, these atoms is going to gain energy. So as a result, the gas will glow. The gas will emit energy. Now emit light. Now that light, if is passed through prism, it should produce a continuum spectrum, as you can see in the upper part of the picture. Now it doesn't. It actually produces line spectrum. Now why does it happen? So this is the another shortcoming of Rutherford's atomic model. Now how this shortcoming was rectified? Niels Bohr, which was another legendary scientist, rectified these drawbacks of Rutherford's atomic model in his model. So I think this was happened in 1905. Actually, he used another theory of Max Planck, the quantum theory of radiation proposed by Max Planck in 1905. Niels Bohr used his theory to rectify all the drawbacks of Rutherford's model. So in the next class, we are going to learn two things. First, we are going to learn the Max Planck's quantum theory of radiation. after that we are going to learn how Rutherford had rectified these drawbacks by using the Planck's quantum theory. So, and basically what are we going to learn in next class is that why continuous spectrum was expected in the first place when from the excited atoms according to Rutherford's atomic model. Okay, so if you able to understand this question, I think a major part of your problem regarding this chapter is going to be solved. So next class is going to be very interesting.